Here is our next case study from CA Final Law Old Course RTP May 2021. Srihari Textiles Limited was incorporated in the year 2010. Its registered office is situated in a place in New Delhi. It has filed its audited financial statements for the financial year 1920 well within the time with the jurisdictional registrar of companies. The registrar inspected the statements and after reviewing them felt the need to seek clarifications on certain matters. Accordingly, a written notice was sent by the registrar to the company and its officials directing them to comply with the notice within 30 days of its receipt. However, the company and its officials failed to reply within the time specified in the notice. The registrar initiated the inquiry and proceeded further for inspecting all the documents of the company. While conducting the inquiry, the registrar, on prudent grounds, believed that some of the documents and other vital information in relation to the company would be destroyed or altered by the official of the company. With a view to safeguard the documents, the registrar obtained an order from the special court and thereafter seized all such material. While inspecting some of the documents, the registrar came to know that the board of directors has passed a resolution in the board meeting held on 10th of April 2019 and thereby increased the remuneration payable to the directors, including two whole-time directors and managing director, to 12% of the net profits of the company, which was a sharp increase of 5% from the preceding financial year. Prior to the inquiry, two directors of the company, namely Mr. X and Mr. D, got retired. The registrar found from the inspection of the documents that they were involved in certain dealings which included selling of assets of the company. On the basis of such information gathered from the inspected documents, the registrar sought some clarification from both of them regarding the dubious transactions. However, both Mr. X and Mr. D refused to appear before him, showing their non-availability in the town, and also represented through a common representative that they were no more a part of a direct board of directors of Srihari Textiles Limited. After the completion of inspection and inquiry, the registrar submitted a written proof to the central government in respect of his findings against the company. The reports mentioned that there were major discrepancies in the assets and liabilities as well as the profit and loss statements of the company. On receipt of the report from the registrar, the central government considered it necessary to investigate the affairs of the company by the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Accordingly, by an order, SFIO was directed to conduct the investigation of Srihari Textiles Limited and submit its reports within the stipulated time. As instructed by the central government, the SFIO authorized some of its inspectors to investigate the affairs of the company. The team deputed by the SFIO included experts in the field of cost accounting, financial accounting, taxation, law, and forensic auditing. While inspecting the company, the team of SFIO came to know that the income tax authorities has already initiated investigation against Srihari Textiles Limited. So that's all with the case study. We'll go through the MCQ questions one by one. Okay. Srihari Textiles Limited and its officials failed to submit any reply to the written notice issued by the registrar within the time specified in the notice. How much fine can be imposed for such failure? So it is relating to the fines. Let me just quickly take you through the screenshot. It is saying if a company fails to furnish any information or explanation or produce any document as required under this section means 206, the company and every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with a fine which may extend to 1 lakh, and in case of continuing failure with an additional fee which may extend to 500 rupees for every day after the first day during which the failure continues. So it is 1 lakh and 500 rupees per day. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option A. Option A, the company and every defaulting officer shall be punishable with a fine of 1 lakh, and in case of continuing failure Sorry, in case of continuing failure, with an additional fine up to 500 for every day after the first during which the failure continues. So that is the answer to this question. This is a straightforward question. There is no need of discussing other points. So it is option A. Let's go through the next question. From the case scenario, it is observed that the registrar seized certain important documents in the course of inquiry. After inspection, what procedure is to be followed pertaining to such documents? What should the registrar do after the inspection? He should return. That's it. The registrar is required to return such documents back to the company after making, if considered necessary, the copies of the same. So it is option C, but still I'll take you through the screenshot. C, taking the copies, placing identification marks. Second proviso to subsection 2. The registrar or inspector may, before returning such books and papers as aforesaid, take copies of or extracts from them, or place identification marks on them or any part thereof, or deal with the same in such manner as he considers necessary. So it is option C. The registrar is required to return such documents back to the company after making the copies of the same, if he considered necessary. Okay, we'll go through the next question. What is the requisite requirement for increasing the remuneration of directors, including whole-time directors and managing director, to 12%? So that it should be in accordance with the relevant provisions of Companies Act. It is like taking a approval in a general meeting. See, here the conditions for the overall limit is 11% of the net profits of the company for that financial year, where if the company wants to exceed that limit of 11%, company in general meeting with approval of central government, subject to the provisions of Schedule 5. So this particular question is speaking about increasing the remuneration beyond 11%. So it needs to get it authorized in a general meeting subject to Schedule 5 or Schedule V, whatever you call. So it is option C. We'll go through the next question. The case scenario states that the registrar of companies has called ex-directors of the company for examining them during the inquiry. Is the registrar empowered to call the ex-directors? Yes, he is, by giving a written notice, right? So option B says the registrar may, by issuing a written notice, call the ex-directors for seeking the requisite information. It is like the registrar has power to call any officials of the company, either ex-directors or ex-employees, and the company as a whole. He has a right to call upon for examining them and get the requisite information. We'll go through the next question. Question number 10. According to the case scenario, while inspecting the company, the team of SFIO, that is Serious Fraud Investigating Office, came to know that the income tax authorities had already initiated investigation against the company. From the given options, choose the correct one that indicates as to how the amidst such a situation SFIO will be continuing with the investigation. So there is an investigation that is already in place. Let's just go through this 16th point. Notwithstanding contained in this act, any investigation or any other action taken or initiated by SFIO under the provisions of Companies Act shall be continued to be proceeded with under that act as if it has not been passed. So both the things, both the income tax authorities investigation and the SFIO investigation should be continued. Okay, I will identify the correct option. Option A says the SFIO has to put its investigation on hold. Is that so? No, the investigation should be continued. So option A is wrong. Option B says SFIO will proceed with its investigation on the basis of the report submitted by income tax authorities. No, it will continue its investigation. It doesn't wait till the report is submitted by income tax authorities. Option C says SFIO will proceed with its investigation while the income tax authority shall keep on holding its investigation. It is not like the investigating the income tax authorities will hold and SFIO will continue. It is like both SFIO will simultaneously continue its investigation along with the income tax authorities. That's all. With this we have completed our RTP case scenarios. Hope you are clear with these points. With this we have completed RTP May 2021 CA final law old course. We'll see you again with MTPs. Okay. Thanks for watching. If you find these videos helpful, please do like, share and comment. Share with your friends and help them to revise at the earliest.